Hi guys, billionaire Sir Jim Radcliffe, who has donated to date about £100,000 to the Conservative Party, and it seems that he's still a supporter of Brexit, was asked about how leaving the EU has turned out. His response: not as people had anticipated. Now, the businessman claims that immigration was the driving force behind leaving the European Union, which begs the question, why did he support it? He told Sky News in this interview that because the Tories hadn't implemented Brexit properly, it will result in a change of government. Have a listen to this.
I mean, you are representing Britain in part with this America's Cup Challenge. You're using Britannia. So, what do you think would be best for the country in this election year in terms of?
Oh, I think. In my view, there's no question that the Conservatives have had they've had a good run. Over the last, probably 15, 20 years, and I think most of the country probably feels it's time for a change, and I sort of get that, really.
Are you going to fund some of that change? Invest in Labour?
I've got lots to do. No, we're apolitical at INEOS, We just want a successful manufacturing sector in the UK. We'll talk to either government about that.
Has Brexit impacted
we're quite
that?
Clear about our views.
Has Brexit impacted that?
Well, Brexit sort of unfortunately didn't turn out as people anticipated, because we didn't really, Brexit was, largely about immigration. That was the biggest component of that vote. People were getting fed up with the influx of, the city of Southampton coming in every year. I think last year it was 2 times Southampton. I mean, a small island like the UK can't cope with vast numbers of people coming into the UK. I mean, it just overburdens the National Health Service, the traffic service, the police, everybody. They can't. The country was designed for 55 or 60 million people, and we've got 70 million people, and all the services break down as a consequence. So that's what Brexit was all about, and nobody's implemented that. They just keep talking about it, but nothing's been done, which is why I think we'll finish up with a change of government, to be honest.
Oh my goodness. Okay, well, I'll come to that part in a moment, the last part, but let's start off with the beginning. So he said the Tories have had a good run. What the heck does that mean, the Tories have had a good run? 14 years of destroying public services, 14 years of corruption, 14 years of cronyism, 14 years of privatisation, 14 years of allowing private companies to pump raw sewage into waterways, 14 years of austerity. Well, maybe not 14, but at least 10 years of austerity. How is that a good run? Of course, he's a billionaire, so he's not impacted by these things. But how can he look at the state of the country and say, yeah, the Tories have had a good run? Unless he's being ironic here. Now, remember, he has donated about £100,000 that we know of to the Conservative Party. So when he says that he's apolitical, how can he be apolitical if he has donated about £100,000 to the Conservative Party? Now, getting on to the Brexit part, he says Brexit hasn't been implemented correctly. Brexit hasn't been implemented correctly. So you didn't know what you voted for. Of course, when it comes to billionaires and millionaires, they're okay. They're protected from the cost of living crisis, which has been amplified by Brexit. They're generally okay when it comes to imports and exports, because they can just move their operations to places like Singapore or into the EU. It's not going to really impact them personally. It may impact some of their businesses, but personally they're not impacted by Brexit. So they will say, yeah, let's continue down this road. And finally, when he says about immigration, well, Brexit was mainly about immigration. You're a business person. You're a businessman. Why are you concerned about immigration? Surely you would welcome immigration, because it means you have access to the workers you need for your businesses. Really, I don't understand why multimillionaires and billionaires cared about immigration. It doesn't make any sense to me. And of course, this idea, well, because it hasn't been implemented correctly, that's why Labour are going to get into power. But this has nothing to do with Labour getting into power. The reason the Tories are going to be removed is because of the 14 years of absolute disaster. Part of that is Brexit, but most of that is how they have cut public services, the NHS, schools, infrastructure, imposed austerity. All of these things put together is the main reason why people are going to vote them out. But how you can say that they've had a good run after all that has happened is just beyond insane. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.